Well, hello, General Hospital Daily Recap fans. Today's daily recap is for Tuesday, April the 8th, 2025. Well, um, not a lot happened today. Christina's getting on my absolute last nerve, completely unhinged. You know, that's just like during the period where Alexis was covering that gun was hers and not Christina's that killed Case, or that they didn't know the kill Case that Alexis threw off the bridge. Christina was supposed to keep her mouth shut how many times? And she kept going to change go opposite of what she's finally agreed to. Well, she's doing this with Lucky. She shows up in Elizabeth's hospital room and brings her flowers just to check on her and see how she's doing. And Liz thinks, oh, that's so nice of you. You know, minor conversation because let's face it, Liz and Christina aren't close. But she goes, I just wanted to make sure you're okay. Um, and Lucky comes in. He had brought some. Aiden baked his mother some whatever. They didn't say what it was. Why Aiden couldn't bring it himself, I don't know. Elizabeth's not in ICU. And even in ICU, they would have let her son see her, but whatever. We won't go down that rabbit hole. So Lucky looks and sees Christina in the room and he says, Christina, can I have a word? Oh, okay. And he goes, it's about Charlie's. He said that so Elizabeth would think it's work related, right? So he takes her to the chapel. He says, what were you doing in Elizabeth's room? She goes, I was just checking up on her. I was making sure she was, she's still kind of talking all over the place. I was just, I don't know, making sure she was okay. Um, I and she kind of a little sweaty. I feel guilty about it. And he goes, okay, Christina. It almost kind of seems like you were gonna confess and tell Elizabeth the truth. Were you? Um, I don't know. Maybe I don't know what I'm thinking. My mind is all over the place. I don't know. I'm feeling guilty. He goes, you know what, Christina? I mentioned this to you before. Go to your mother. Tell her what you've done. See, don't you unburden yourself on Elizabeth. Because, see, that's kind of sounds like what you want to do. And so she goes, tell your mother. No, my mother and my father have been through too much already. Oh, no, no, I can't be now their daughter that goes to jail. My mother lost Sam. I can't be the daughter that both my parent and my father's got horrible health issues. I can't be the one to go to jail. That would just kill you. That would just destroy them both. He said, then stick with stick with whatever your decision is, Christina. Okay? Because the way you're acting, somebody's gonna figure that out. He says, and by the way, go get some help, get some counseling, right? She just looks at him. It's not the first person that Alexis and Sonny should have insisted that Christina get help. 100%. She's unhinged. So anyway, um, they don't really show them anymore. We have Alexis coming into the office. Diane is there, and Alexis was whistling or trying to whistle coming in. Hey, hello. And Diane is like, okay, so wait, what's going on? You look different. You were doing a half whistle. You actually almost seem a bit lighter, chipper. And she goes, I went to the gym this morning, worked out. Boy, it does start your day off right. And Alexis goes, would you like me to sing? And Diane says, oh God, no. Oh God, no. She said, what has brought this on? So of course Alexis tells about how Christina, her girls have finally come together. Christina apologized and just, this they're in a place where she hasn't seen them in more than a year, right? And it just means the world to her. And Diane says, good, because I know it does. Having your girls, everybody on one accord. And so because one of the things Diane said is, did Rick die? Alexis looked at her and said, nah, he didn't die. She goes, oh, okay, because I knew that would be a reason you'd be happy. But anyway, they were joking because Alexis would not be happy if Rick died because it would devastate Molly. So um, there's a knock on the door and it's Marco. Diane says, oh, great, perfect timing. Marco Rios, I want you to meet Alexis Davis. Alexis, this is Marco. And Marco's like, nice to meet you, Miss Davis. And then Diane's phone her buzzes. So she looks at it. She goes, up, I'm being summoned to judge's chambers. She goes, this is going to give you two a chance to get to know each other. And so she turns around on her way out the door. And no, and Alexis looks at him and said, I'm the good cop. Okay. So she asked him questions, about clients and what would you do with, clients that have questionable businesses, you know, alleged questionable businesses. How would you handle them? And he says, as long as nothing is like blatant in my face, everybody deserves proper representation, questionable business or not. He says, but if it's something that's so public that's against my standards, then I'm going to pass. He said, because all money's not good money. And I thought, well, look, your daddy, you obviously good with all that, right? Because Sidwell, he's doing the most. So anyway, Alexis tells him, you know what? I'm going to confer with Diane, but I could tell you we will expect a offer shortly from us. And he goes, I look forward to that. Right. So now Lois is back in town. She was only gone for a hot minute. And Olivia said, oh, it should be a surprise, surprise Brooklyn and blah, blah, blah. Brooklyn and Chase were eating breakfast and they were talking about how quiet the house was, and Brooklyn's like, well, now that whole crip situation is settled. Oh, I'm tired. I'm tired, y'all. Oh my God. My 16-year-old, 16 and a half year old Yorkie. He's had me up since 2 this morning. He was just restless, walking back and forth in the room. Finally took him out to use the bathroom at 4. But anyway, that's why I'm tired. So what see, where was I? Where was I? Oh, Lois. Okay, so anyway, when Brooklyn sees her, she looks at her and Chase goes, oh, Lois, good to see you. He jumps up and gives her a hug, trying to kind of cover for Brooklyn. And Olivia's looking at Brooklyn's reaction, right? But she does know Brooklyn and Lois had a little falling out, right? So Brooklyn jumps up. She goes, hi, Ma. Nice to see you. And Lois says, can I get a hug? And Brooklyn says, sure. So she gives her mother a hug. And then she goes, I actually have to run. I have a phone call, a teleconference call regarding deception. I got to get upstairs too. So Lois is like, oh, okay. And so Chase says, oh, you know what? I'm going to help her with that. And Olivia says, with a deception conference call? And he goes, no, you know what? Setting up things, making sure the cameras is right, making sure the mic is working. He goes, just some technical things. And Lois says, yeah, I've had problems with that where my camera was jumping all over. You go ahead and help Brookie. Thanks, Chase. So then Lois and Olivia were talking. And I fast forwarded that because bottom line, Lois wasn't going to tell Olivia the truth that you have a grandson living in the house with you, bestie, right? I just, oops, didn't tell you. So we have Lulu. She goes to see Cody. And Cody is like, she goes, I have to apologize. When I came to you, I deceived you. He goes, when and how? Oh, I led you to believe I knew about Dante and Brooklyn, that they were together in the past, that Brooklyn had told me, and that wasn't the truth. I didn't know until you confirmed it to me. And he looked at her. He said, why would you lie like that? And Dante comes in and he goes, yeah, that's what I would want to know. And he looked at Cody and he goes, and I'd also want to know, why would you tell her? And so Lulu goes, well, no, and I completely deceived him. I had a hunch and I made him just believe I already knew. And he goes, and for that, Cody, I am truly sorry. And he looked at her. He says, well, thanks for your apology, but I absolutely don't accept it. I don't accept it. He says, now, I'm going to let you and Dante talk about whatever you two got going on right now. And he says, I'm going to go feed the horses. And he takes his bucket of feed and he leaves. So Lulu and Dante are talking, then you didn't tell me, I don't even know if you're a man I could trust. And she's going on and on. He goes, you know what, Brooklyn? Lulu, yeah, I didn't tell you every little thing that happened in my teenage life. He goes, yeah, Brooklyn and I were training to be counselors. Yeah, we got close. We were together for that one summer. After that, we went our separate ways. Nothing ever came of it. And she goes, but what if it did? He goes, you know what, Lulu? Really, this has nothing to do with you. Well, she came to town and she just went on and on. I'm like, okay, fast forward. I care about Lulu. Period. And Dante, the only thing is, maybe I should have told you. Okay. But it didn't, that event, that part of my life, it just really meant nothing because we were together. But yet when Brooklyn came to town and Carly paid her to break us up, he goes, just that, Brooklyn. Lulu. Brooklyn had to be paid to try because we had been over, period. Because from the time I met you, you were the woman for me. Even when Brooklyn came to town, that didn't change anything. He should have said, now look, when it changed was when Carly Spencer's cousin came to town. I forgot what her name was. Remember, she and Dante slept together the whole 9 yards. Dante liked her, right? So anyway, I'm like, yeah, I'm sick of you, Lulu. Um, Now, Ava convinces Rick. She says, listen, Rick. He goes, well, what are you going to do with the information? He goes, blackmail Sonny? He said, if you try to blackmail Sonny, oh, you will end up dead. She goes, no, I'm not going to try to blackmail Sonny. I'm going to blackmail Alexis. And he looked at her. He said, Alexis? She says, yes, Alexis. And he says, oh, so you could get your hands on that Cassadine money. She says, yep, Alexis is going to open up those coffers to me. And Rick is like, well, what's in it for me? And Ava says, you're going to get paid. Now, I know you'll do something, you'll do it for money. And he goes, not all money is, uh, 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 I won't do just anything for money. And she goes, okay, Rick, Molly's lost her sister Sam. How do you think she's gonna feel when her only remaining sister is in prison? Because you put her there. How do you think she's gonna handle that? And he just looked at her. He goes, look, this is a win-win for me and you. And he goes, that's only if Alexis goes along with it. She says, oh, Alexis will absolutely go along with it because you and I both know they will cover up anything Christina does. And so he goes, but Ava, Christina tried to kill you. You're gonna blackmail she needs help and she needs to pay for her actions. You not pressing charges and making her pay allows her to just walk around free, can hurt somebody else. She goes, I can handle Christina. He goes, oh, yeah, like you handled her a few days ago. See, he goes, the only reason it was my car, not yours, is I parked in your spot. But you can handle Christina. She goes, now that I know the depths that Christina will stoop to, yes, I can absolutely handle Christina. She says, but I'm going to get that money. So she goes to Ava's office, she knocks on the door, and she just comes in. And Ava turns around, she goes, knock, knock. And Alexis was like, she looked up from her computer, she turned around, she says, aren't you tired of going where you're not wanted? Go away, Ava. I'm busy. Oh no. And Ava, she's got this bounce to her step. Like, I got something on you. Right? Oh, you got time for this. She goes, Ava, I already told you I'm busy. I'm sure you're going to make time to talk about Christina and her future. And Alexis looks up at her because she walked around to the front, facing Alexis, right? The front of Alexis's desk. And Alexis looks at her. Watch, it's going to be good tomorrow. I'm looking forward to seeing tomorrow and how she puts the screws to Alexis. And the way she's going to do it is she's going to show her the video. 100%, I know. She is going to show her the video. And we all know Alexis, what she's going to do. So there we have it. But that's pretty much it. Nothing else happened on GH today. I'm going to go to Comic Corner. Comic Corner. Let me start my trusty dusty. Okay, I'm going to go from the top down. We have Sylvania says, recap lady, you are too funny. And she also says, Ava already figured out who did it. So she marched down to Alexis's office ready to blackmail Alexis. Yes, she sure did. And Aisha says, remember that Jocelyn was about to ask for Jason's opinion on something when he got called away by Anna and almost got taken into custody for Cyrus's murder. Never mind that there was nobody or evidence of a crime. Jason will remember that when and if Joss doesn't. Jason's going to question Jocelyn about allegedly being at that some kind of island. I keep forgetting the name of it. What was the name of that island? Sunshine Island? No, Easter Island. Easter Island, right? And then Linda says, it's possible that Ava's going to blackmail Alexis in giving Ava back her money from the Cassadine estate. And Ava may go as far as getting the money out of Sunny to keep Christina out of prison. Jacarly says, I'm not on the ADA side, but I had to laugh when Anna said she doesn't look the other way, that everything she does is by the book. And, and Jacardi says, girl, you lying. Why did Valentine walk away twice? Did she forget how she helped Peter August? I had forgotten about that. Peter August when she thought he was her son, or how she was going to kill Faison, or how she did kill Carlos. Carlos who? Right? And then how she let Peter Hornsby, you went way back, keep his mayor's position because he knew what she did. Always following the letter of the law. That was a laugh. I know. Anna, please, Anna, shut up. Jacardi says, uh, they are really still trying to push Jason and Anna relationship. Why do they need to keep working together? I know. I don't want no relationship between those two. Jacardi says Christina is going to be the reason why her father loses custody of Avery. Ava is going to use the video from the garage. Either he signs over custody or Christina goes to jail for attempted murder. And this will be all because of her. Oh, really, all because of her, meaning Christina. Yeah, Ava's got two ways of blackmailing: getting money from Alexis and getting full custody of Avery from Sonny, all with the same evidence. And Patricia says, oh, wait, I'm finally having my morning coffee and waking up. Rick and Ava know, now, and it will be fun to see uh, exactly what they do. Well, we see what Ava's already in action. And then Devette says, talking about that ADA reminds me of how much I don't like her character and the way she's going after her own agenda to get anyone prosecuted. Wonder what Anna ever did to her. That's got her in a twist. And then Patricia says, I'm so sick. I'm so mad at Lucky for backing down. When will Christina have to pay? I want Christina to pay too. Trying to keep trying to keep up, says to Patricia, very disappointed with Lucky saying, the mother of my child, the woman I love, then covering for Christina. What kind of love uh, is that Elizabeth should leave him? What is that? Elizabeth should leave him most definitely not for Rank Rick. No, she should not. She should not leave Lucky for Rick. And then Magdalena says, hello, recap lady. The episode was okay. First, Christina needed to own it, trying to guilt Lucky. That was unbelievable. And Lucky needs to tell Elizabeth, because even when Elizabeth finds out that Lucky knew and didn't tell her, she's going to be peed off, must be pissed off. I know that. And Ava is going to tell Christina, and Ava is going to show her the footage. Um, Ava's going to blackmail Sonny, and Rick is going to stick it to Sonny. I can see that coming. I don't understand Alexis. Doesn't she know Christina? Uh, Christina, that interaction between the three of them. I know that's what I said. Her mother senses was way off. Great comment, Magdalena. I'm gonna stop at that paragraph there, or that sentence there. And then Tulip says, I knew it would be on video. And then Lucy says, Rick Lansing and Ava Jerome, watch out. They've got something up their sleeves. Yes, they do. Sewing Room says, my favorite villain pairing. They will blackmail anyone. They sure will. They are experts at getting under people's skin, and they are hilarious. Lucy says to Sewing Room, totally. And actually, I like them a lot too. As a villain couple, they actually work very well together. Their moral compasses are just that low. That it works together. They don't have to judge each other. Well, everybody, you know what? I'm going to stop right there at 6 minutes. Uh, Great comments back and forth. I just love the conversation you all were doing. Keep up those comments. I will be back tomorrow with another daily recap of General Hospital.